4, 3, 2. Come kick it and cool out. It's a Talk of Chicago 1690 WVON. Koolout Radio is live in effect, baby. What's up? Ladies and gentlemen, y'all don't even know the type of show we got going on for y'all today. First of all, shouts out to everybody in the studio. Shouts out to everybody in the studio. Let me make sure we introduce our co-host so you'll know who's here. Shouts out to LaDonna Ray.
On the strength.
On the strength. Kels Coleman.
What's up?
In the mic, maybe, Kels?
Oh, all right. What's up, y'all?
All right. Also, Farouk Abdul Basir.
What's going on, brother man from the motherland?
What's up, brother? Good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
And also, that baritone brother himself, Chris Bass.
Yes, boom, shakalaka.
Wouldn't be the same.
Now, usually we start off with the core, but we got a special guest in the studio. We got to make sure we bring him in. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce this brother, Mr. Al B. Shore.
Yeah, Al B.
Now, if you don't believe us, go to our Facebook page right now, the Koolout Radio Show. You can see him right there. First of all, Al, you just performed tonight and came here, bro.
Oh, man. What? Chicago? It's not a game.
No.
It is not a game. What a blessing. It always feels like 1988 when we step in the building. It is.
You know, I remember
amazing.
that show when you guys came that year. I remember that.
You're not that old.
No, I'm not that old, but
I'm looking at you.
I don't age. I have that Benjamin Button.
I was going to say, it was amazing. First of all, the first time I came through was the most exciting time of my life. I just released an album, and I went to a place called Tower Records.
Yes, I remember.
And 10,000 kids showed up to my in-store, and it was crazy, and it was bananas, but it was a blessing because it taught me something as it relates to, you know, creating this art and having people accept and appreciate your art. And I've always considered it a blessing. I don't know about the other artists,
right,
but for me, when you see people in seats 30 years later, we're celebrating. Today's the anniversary of releasing Night and Day.
Really?
Today's the anniversary.
How many years ago? Is that 30 years ago?
30 years.
Wow. 30
years
doesn't
ago.
seem like it's that long, but I guess when you put the numbers on it, it's 30 years.
Yes, it's and again, that's part of the biggest part of the blessing is that we're still here, we're moving strong, and on the anniversary, my youngest king, I have 3 sons, 3 amazing sons. My youngest king, Quincy,
right, just
remade Night and Day, but we did it as a duet, and it's called I Can Tell You Night and Day 2.0.
Where can people get that at?
It's available right now. It's on Spotify. Before we leave here, I'm going to leave it with you.
Please, because I'll play it tonight. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And Quincy looks just like you, man. You can't deny that's your brother.
Oh, never will, never have, never will.
Like somebody said.
Some other people try to claim him.
Oh, yeah.
But meanwhile, back in Chicago.
Wow.
It is what it is, yeah.
I'll be sure, man. There's so many questions. I know you're not going to be here with us long because I know you're tired, you perform, but, you know.
Let me tell you something. No, let's do this.
Okay.
I am here.
I like that attitude.
I am here.
Okay.
You know, and radio is one of my first loves anyway, so let's enjoy ourselves this evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is from the voice of Al B. Shore, Koolout Radio. Man, first of all, Al, you said something that I wanted to touch on because when I saw this, when I found out Quincy was your son, I felt in my heart, I said, man, I would love to talk to Al B. Shore because you are in our community, I want to say it's about 64% of co-parents who don't know how to do it, you know, and no one even knew that really until it's like, wow, you know, and for those who don't know the story, can I explain to them?
Oh, absolutely.
Quincy, which is his son, but his, can I say stepfather or do?
Yeah, no,
oh, yeah,
let me tell you something, and it's all love.
Okay.
It takes a village. His mom was, you know, first of all, you know, my first love.
Right.
You know, and when I brought her here from Columbus, Georgia, to New York, and we made an amazing, amazing young man.
Right.
And, you know, and as time progresses and things happen, and we weren't together, and
then she started dating Sean Combs, of course, Diddy. And for years, no one ever knew that, you know, he was, you know, being a role model to him. But a lot of men in our communities don't know how to handle that. They don't know how to deal with that. Can you give some advice to those brothers? Because, like I say, I want to say the number's about 64% of co-parenters it's volatile, it's combative.
Well, first of all, we were very, very young.
Right.
Quincy was actually conceived when we were living in Italy.
Oh, wow.
And then we came back to the States, and And it's always been this. First of all, anybody should be grateful that there's somebody, just because parents may have issues, and not even that we had any major issues, we were just young and immature.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's my team. My sons are my team. I mean, those are the loves of my life. So, and you get into another relationship, there's somebody else that's around. Thank God that they're a good influence.
Absolutely.
Because it could be another way.
That's true.
That's
so
true.
I applaud, in every way. And just like now, when he started, doing the theatrical and the acting and things of that nature, Pops, I want some cameras. I want this. He wanted to be a director. He was doing magic tricks. He was 13 or 14 years old. And we went and bought him, some professional digital cameras, and it just never stopped from there. So anything about what he's doing right now, very specifically, first of all, congratulations on the success of Star, number one show on Fox, the Empires, by, the king himself, Mr. Lee Daniels.
I know you must be proud, man.
Oh, very much so. And it's amazing that with Quincy, there's nothing about nepotism. It's not about his father, Al B. Shore. It's not about any of the other associations he may have.
He worked for that.
He studies. He's in acting class.
Wow.
He's in singing class. It's something that's consistent with him, and he's focused. And this is why when I see sometimes, obviously I have a pretty thick skin. I'm still doing this at the highest level.
Right.
30 years later, you have to have some sort of armor on. Because, everybody with social media, you can say whatever you want to say, which is great. But the key to it is that I invite everyone in his life, even those who are possibly a little bit insecure about his success, I invite them all to come together and be on one accord and uplift his spirit, because this is about his success and about celebrating it, not about who's the better parent or who's.
Right.
It's none of that. He has an amazing mother. Kim is an amazing mother. I appreciate all the other things that surround him, but he knows, just look in the mirror. It is what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Al B. Shore out. And I appreciate that, because I really want more men in our community to know, hey, we can all still help. We can all be co-parents, even if we're not together.
And we have that dialogue
Yeah.
on a daily basis. Quincy and I consistently have that dialogue about life. But what happens is, and it's unfortunate with the press, people think that it's more than it is.
Right.
And they just run with it. So they run with a story that's 20 years old, and they don't realize it's a love affair. It's a love affair all day.
Hi, Al. First of all, it was a pleasure meeting you. And I was at that concert when you came to Chicago, and my mother still remembers me putting my arm through her hoop earrings. Because when you came
I'm sorry,
out,
Mom.
Yeah, it was your fault, No, I'm kidding. I really enjoyed that. But just watching you over the years, and then to transition into a radio personality, a father, we've seen you growing up, so to speak. How did you balance all of that, being a young father? I, too, was a young mother. But how did you balance all of that, the stardom, the women, the whole situation, and still be that type of father that was there for your son?
You know what? It's nothing that had. There's no science to it. It's really all about my upbringing and being very humble and having a mother who worked 3 jobs. I never knew we were broke. She just never let me know. Right. I always felt I was a citizen of the world. So as it relates to achieving any amount of success or being ambitious enough to want to, have $1 over lunch money, everything for me was very specific as it relates to just trying to stay focused. And it's hard because once you're launched onto a national platform, remember, I'm this young cat from Money Earned in Mount Vernon who was in the lunchroom writing songs on the back of my notepad. Then I'm in Osaka, Japan, and there are 10,000 Japanese citizens singing that same song I just wrote in high school.
Wow.
Every lyric. How does that happen? If you don't consider it a blessing,
it is a blessing.
Wrong with you.
Absolutely, it's a blessing.
So it's definitely a blessing.
Farouk Abdul Basir.
Yo, brother, not only were you like even now probably still the poster the face, the name for, I guess, a handsome brother, but light-skinned dude. So me, as a so-called light-skinned brother, I want to thank you personally.
Light skin is in, baby.
Whenever people...
Wait, I was waiting for that one.
Whenever back in the day people used to refer to light-skinned dudes, they say, oh, I'll be sure looking dude. In your name, like Kanye, some other folks dropped
No, wait, now let me share this with you.
Okay.
What's funny, so if you hear this intro to my show, if you were at the Airy Crown, I'm on about 85 hip hop records and 14 movies and TV shows and every reference. So now, there's a little joke on the internet. It's like, I'm the light skinned general.
You're George Patton, man.
You know what?
But I make it a point to let us know. Let me tell you something. We are beautiful in every shade, shape, size.
Say that again.
Stop playing. We are
Say
beautiful in every shade, shape, size. Because I love me some dark chocolate. You better stop playing with me.
Here's a Hershey's. Calm down.
And she hands me the Hershey bar.
That's right.
Oh, that's what's up, Chris Bass.
Wait, I'm not going to talk after this gentleman. I already heard his vocal. I heard his vocal.
He's got the
No, it's all one love, sir. Game recognizes game, when it comes to voice things.
Yes, sir.
First of all, Mr. Be Sure, I want to thank you for everything you've done, and I want to thank you personally because when I was in college, I played your music.
Oh, wow.
And because of your music, women tend to show me their affection. So thank you.
Let me break that down.
No, don't break it down. Use your imagination, if you will. But you mentioned money earned in Mount Vernon, and I have to ask you this because the first person comes to mind, not only you, was the late, great Heavy D. Please share about your experience knowing that man.
Wow. First of all, we went to high school together. DJ Eddie
Yes.
F. My best friend, growing up in high school, he was the best DJ. He did all the parties. I remember sitting there in the room, and I had a job at the shoe store, so I bought a 4-track, and Eddie had turntables, and then there was this young man named Peter who would come in every day and scratch the records. They call him Pete Rock now.
Pete Rock.
So it was just, and the CL Smooth, and it was just this eclectic mix of very hungry young, budding entrepreneurs who were thinking, what's next? What's next? Because we couldn't live without the music. So initially, basically, I was the engineer of the group, and I was the background singer for Heavy D and the Boys. So that's me singing all the vocals on the
Oh,
background.
is it? I did not know that.
Money Under Mount Vernon. I Want Somebody for Me.
The falsetto. Now I'm thinking of.
Don't you know?
Yeah,
that's all me.
Wow, I did not know that.
And then, so I remember we were in the basement, and it was time. I don't know what we were thinking about, but it was time for us to decide we want a record deal, like we knew what we were doing. Isn't that funny? So I went to the yellow pages that Eddie had and I looked in the basement, and I'm looking, turning. Yes, yellow pages. We didn't have iPhones. We didn't have a smart anything. We just had that big book that people try to rip in half sometimes. So I'm looking through the yellow pages. I find this place called Def Jam Recordings. Pick up the phone. Hello, sir. How are you? My name is Al B. Shore. I'd like to speak to a gentleman by the name of Russell Simmons. Is he available? No, what can I do for you? What can I help you? Well, I have this group. They're friends of mine. We want to, talk to you about possibly distribution of songs and records. Well, what's the name? Well, the name is Heavy D and the Boys. You mean the Fat Boys? No, Heavy D and the Boys. He says, we already got that. We don't, I said, no, sir. I said, well, who am I speaking with? Don't worry about that. Well, I said, I'd like to speak to Mr. Russell Simmons. I think he'll understand this. So what was funny, I said, well, who am I speaking with? My name's Andre Harrell. I said, well, I want to talk to Russell Simmons. And that was the beginning of the relationship. So it was all funny as we, over the years.
Uptown
obviously,
Records.
Uptown, that's where Uptown Records started because Russell had it locked on the type of hip hop like PE, Public Enemy.
Yeah, LL at that time, right.
And then it wasn't necessarily the commercial kind of melodic hip hop that we had from Mount Vernon.
And then visually, Heavy D wasn't the person they thought would be this big success.
Correct. So we, this was perfect timing. That's why I said, don't let anybody tell you that God is good. Chicken is good. You better stop playing with me.
That's right.
Kales Coleman?
Yes. Okay. So given that you are such an R&B legend, what do you think about some of the R&B artists of today? Like that, because it's all a cycle. We all kind of repeat everything. But artists like, Trey Songz or Chris Brown, what do you think? Your son, what do you think about these artists today?
I think these young men are uber talented. I think that they've had pretty good examples. What I would tell them all is the same thing that Quincy Jones told me when I first started, when he kind of launched me, is that study the greats. Don't study the technology. Go back and watch The Temptations, Stevie Wonder, Earth, Wind and Fire, true vocal groups. When I found Jodeci on tour, it's almost the same story. Obviously, most people here just saw the special with the New Edition story.
You found Jodeci?
Well, yeah. What happened was I was on the Any Heartbreak tour. That's when Michael found Boyz II Men, along with Charlie Mack, and they came up. So my security guards at the time were Suge Knight and Big West. For some strange way, they snuck up. They drove, I think, from Charlotte and Medicine, Virginia. They snuck up and auditioned for me. So I called the office in Brooklyn, New York, at Uptown Records.
Okay.
And, sent them there. They went there, got signed immediately. They drove their little white Ford Escort there, got signed immediately, tried to do the album, tried to work on it, and wound up. I remember I came back off of tour. Andre and Sean, Mr. Combs, came to my New Jersey home and said, listen to this album. It's got all the elements, all the stuff there. I need you to take that and do that Quincy Jones thing that you do. I said, okay. So I took the album. I kidnapped Devontae. I built the studio, hidden away. We reprogrammed the entire album. I wound up, co-writing a lot of the songs. But then there was a special song there was a theme song that they had, which was their theme. When you think of Jodeci, you think of Our Capabilities, and they performed that on BET. But what we did was, I said, this is a beautiful, there's something about this song. So I wrote a song called Forever My Lady. And that was about Kimberly and Quincy.
Oh,
Wow. I was about to sing it.
I was too.
Forever my baby, and it means so much to me. You know what I'm saying? So, but what's interesting is now I'm finally writing a book. It's called From Mount Vernon to the Moon and Back, and I'm in talks with some folks to do my life story, because the part is this: what I didn't realize, I've never walked with my own flag, just on being humble, how I was raised, but didn't realize that that's your next job. That's your next situation. So I always kind of just kept it on the low, and it wasn't about the accolades, and it wasn't about I just recently took out, my American Music Awards and Soul Train Awards in New York, all these out of the garage, out of boxes and dust, and just put them in the house, because my family said, hey, why don't you just put them up? I said, okay.
You know what? I'm so enamored right now. First of all, you are connected to so much musical history that we all can connect to. And just the fact that you never know who you will meet or who will come through that has a certain sound. Today you were performing with a young lady by the name of Debo Music Trapper. She was on our show, man. I don't know if you've heard her music or not. Can we get her in here? Is she here? She's here at the studio today.
Okay.
I just want to bring her in. Cue up her song. Al, I just want you to hear this song and let her know what you thought about it, because when we heard it, we loved it. Okay. We loved it.
Well, it looks like there's a great deal of music acumen in the building.
Oh yes, yeah. And she was on the Voice, the third season.
That's right. 3. Met today at an event, and what a pleasant spirit,
brother. I just want you to, because what's
even more important, without even hearing the music, that's a young lady that deserves success. You can tell spiritually because of the spirit that she walks with.
D, come over here. There she is right there. There she is right there. We heard her music last week. We good? Okay. We good, Al?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just wanted you, because you had the hits. I know it. When I heard it, I loved it.
Right on.
So I want you to hear it as it plays on air. They loved it as well. We got it queued up. We got a song. This is IDK.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's play it.
Describe how I feel, I would say. I know I should.
Calm down.
Think of the time and the place. I felt so cold, I felt so lonely that day.
And the facts on the wall remain.
I'll do anything to obtain that place with you. 'Cause with you, I see sunshine through the gloom. Here's for you, and I'll be there whenever you want me to be. Side by side, you and me. I'll go wherever to go. After the show, I'm ready to go. What will it take to get back to that place? I decay, but I'm ready. How many times ready have I crossed the line? Ready just for you to fade away. Don't worry, I'll take from me when I stay the same man. I decay. I got a handful of possibilities. You ain't shocked at all. When you see me, I decay. I could forget about all of the pain. It'll be all over. Lifting my hands to the Lord, saying I'm here. Yeah, He keeping me and blessing. And I know that I pray for the day He'll take the pain away. And to me, my life back. Alley cat gotta be smooth enough not to react. No matter how the wind blows, walking down the street, scatting past and acting like I don't know you. Turn around, 'cause with you I see sunshine through the gloom. It's for you, and I'll be there whenever you want me to be. Side by side, you and me. I'll go. What you saying, Debo? Debo got a million people checking for you, just alone in the crowd. After the show, I'm ready to go. What will it take to get back to that place? Stop playing them games. I see sunshine.
I feel that, Debo, for real. Sometimes I decay. It's like I try my hardest, but nothing ever works. You know what I'm saying? It's like, which way should I go? Left or right? Up or down? I don't know. But all I know is I believe in elevation and separation. Sometimes you gotta separate yourself to elevate.
I'm curious to know. She's here, and I just felt like this was a great opportunity, to connect something.
That's what we do, and it's been a blessing. I mean, it's the same thing. So in my, when I was VP of A&R at Motown, prior to the entire time, nobody knew that I was actually writing most of the songs. So in my camp, when we brought Jodeci into the fold, there was in the Jodeci camp, it was Missy Elliott, Elgin, Genuine,
right.
And a slew of other really, really talented musicians that came out of the camp, but who were singing my demos at first. It was Casey and JoJo, Dave Hollister, Faith Evans, Anthony Hamilton was through there. So what happened was that entire R&B movement was in my house, working on demos in my studio in New York. Wow. So, and what happens, it's nice to see, Faith wrote it in her book, she acknowledged it, there was some other artists that and I love, all I do is I love to see them all thriving, and I love to see them all winning, and I love when I see them on TV, it just makes me feel like, wow, it's like I just remember when, even with Faith, come on, she was on Section 8, she was this wonderful mother taking care of her kid. She was doing, I used to pay her $500 a day just to come and sing demos, and it would be like it was Whitney Houston meets Mary J. Blige before it was Faith Evans, because she had that rugged grit, fly, but her vocal ability was Whitney Houston on steroids. So we didn't know what it was, so we just called her the doctor, because she could fix anything. Like, you had a demo, she could fix it. So when I did Tevin Campbell's first album with Prince, when I did all of those, Tony Thompson, with all of those songs, all of those records, they were all my demo singles. So that's why, outside of the production with Kyle West, all those things sounded so amazing, because my demo singles were Dave Hollister, Casey and JoJo, Case, so it was just an amazing, amazing journey. And I was just blessed to.
Well, Al, man, bro, we can sit here all day. We know you gotta go, man. What can you give and talk to DeBoer? You want to say something? Because I know for you it's probably emotional, because this is your music that high. You want to say something? Go ahead, get on the mic.
More than anything, thank you for having me. I love the opportunity. If I can do anything, it's to change the world. And like I mentioned last week, the high I'm talking about is that DMT, and it's that thing behind that eye. You know,
It's that
activate
third eye.
yourselves.
Yep,
You've been here.
absolutely.
You've been here multiple times. Get high. Remember who you are.
But you know what?
Love you, my people.
You are a star. Period.
Thank you.
It is what it is.
That's
You are a
what's up.
star. And I'm not talking about, and what it is this. There's certain people in the industry, sometimes you go, how did this person make it? How did that person make it? So you have what it takes. I felt your spirit when we were connected at the event today.
Yes.
And you can just tell the presence of someone who has that je ne sais quoi. That's something special that's going to go far. Just stay focused.
You got
Don't
it.
let everybody in your ear.
Will do.
And take that off that third eye, because everybody's going to try to blind
You're
you
right.
with it.
You're right.
And I want you to breathe and stay focused.
Blessings.
Breathe and stay focused and just do you.
Best feeling ever, yeah.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, I just, I wish we could give this experience to everybody who's an artist out there. I'll be sure. I want to thank you for your time, man.
Thank you. In fact, I think we have the Quincy record.
Oh, yes. We're going to play. This is you and Quincy.
This is actually Quincy's. First of all, on Valentine's Day, he just released his new EP called This Is For You on Spotify, iTunes. But the single is called I Can Tell You Night and Day 2.0. Here it is right here.
Hey, yo, Q. Let's go. You ready?
I love you more in the rain or shine. I can tell you. And making love in the rain is fun. I can tell you. I know you love when I say it's mine. Yeah. I can tell you. Love is blind. Baby, won't you just let me know? I can tell you. If I could hit it right after my show, I can tell you. I know you love when I take control, yeah. I can tell you. And you say, please don't go. Please don't go. I can tell you how I feel about you night and day. Oh, baby, I can tell you how I feel about you night and day.
Come. Yeah.
Bongo, by the way.
It's the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON, Night and Day 2.0.
That was dope.
Yeah, man.
That was really dope.
Yeah, it was just being able to hear all of those artists.
Night and Day 2.0, man. Yo, that.
Just like his daddy.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know what advice his dad gave him when he started singing. Did you see that line he dropped in there about his dad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go get him,
He
son.
bigged up his old man big time.
But you don't realize how connected to, like, everybody he was connected to musically dropped and sold albums, sold move units, made some hits.
Man.
Everybody.
Big names, big stars. Pete Rock and CL Smooth, one of my favorite hip hop groups ever.
Right.
You
Even
know,
David
just-
Hollister,
yeah.
Anthony
Jodeci.
Hamilton, Jodeci.
Absolutely.
It's like he's responsible for probably 80% of the children.
I was about to say, he made a lot of my little cousins.
Yeah, literally.
Yo, that was a pleasure, man. That was dope, man.
That was good to get a walk down memory lane like that musically. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what? This is also Women's History Month, right? Mm-hmm. And his Al, real fast, your aunt or cousin is Ella Fitzgerald, right?
That's the other light-skinned dude. That's Christopher Williams.
That's Christopher Williams.
That's the sergeant for us light skinned brothers. He's not the our general just left, so that's Sergeant Christopher
No,
Williams.
I'm mad because the board ops gave me that information. Like, yeah, it's true.
No.
And I put
In a sense, we're all related.
Yeah, we are. He said that's, boy, I tell you, man.
Light-skinned
Chris
still
warned me earlier. Chris warned me.
You got
Chris
Wikipedia right there.
Yeah, Chris
man.
said, do your research. I said, no, I trust him, man. I trust him. It was like it was the other light-skinned guy. Look, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get it off your chest. LaDonna Ray.
Oh, on the strength still.
Okay. Kales Coleman.
Appreciate Mr. I'll be sure.
Yes. Farouk Abdul-Basir.
We lining up that light-skinned army, kid. Coming to take over.
Look, everybody
crossing the borders.
Farouk, everybody starts off light-skinned. Don't let it tell
This is true.
It's true. Chris Bass.
Boom, shakalaka.
I'm Johnny Starks, a.k.a. Koolout. This is Koolout Radio.